There's a moment every man experiences, but almost no one understands. That strange shift when she suddenly goes quiet. No messages, no calls, no explanation. Yet somehow you can feel it. She's thinking about you more than ever. And no, you're not imagining it. Most men completely misread this moment. They think a woman only thinks about them when she's texting, calling, or showing obvious interest. But that's not how female psychology works. A woman often thinks about you most intensely in silence, in distance, in the moments when she tells herself she's moved on, but something inside her refuses to let go. If you've been sensing her energy, even when she's not around, there's a reason. Before we go deeper, make sure you're subscribed, because once you understand this, you'll never read her silence the same way again. Men notice actions, women feel patterns, and when a woman becomes emotionally activated by a man, she doesn't express it directly, she leaks it. It shows up in tiny behavior shifts, small slips she wishes she could hide, impulses she doesn't fully understand. She won't say, "I miss you." She won't admit, "I can't stop thinking about him." Instead, she does things that look insignificant on the surface, but underneath, they're emotional earthquakes. Here's the truth most men never hear. A woman's mind doesn't get stuck on a man because of words, looks, or charm. She gets stuck on a feeling she can't replace, a feeling she can't duplicate, a feeling that makes her compare every man after you to how she felt when she was with you. If you triggered that emotional blueprint, intentionally or not, she will keep circling back to you in her mind, like a song she can't stop replaying, even when she wants to, even when she tries not to, even when she tells her friends she's done. When a woman is emotionally activated by you, she doesn't reach out first. She observes, she analyzes, she checks small things about you without letting you know. She remembers your patterns, she replays old conversations, she feels your presence long before she checks your social media. She doesn't want to look desperate, she doesn't want to risk rejection, so she thinks, and thinks, and thinks. And that thinking becomes obsession the moment she realizes something terrifying. She felt safe with you. Not safe like protection, safe like understood, seen, felt, like you unlocked a part of her she didn't even know existed. When a woman feels that, she doesn't forget quickly. Even if she walks away, her mind stays with you long after her feet leave. That's why distance means nothing, silence means nothing, lack of messages means nothing. What matters is what she's doing when you're not watching. And when a woman is thinking about you non-stop, her behavior always gives her away. It usually starts with something small, a word you said, a look you gave, a moment she didn't expect to feel anything but did. At first, she tells herself it's nothing. She tries to ignore it. But later, she replays it. She smiles at a message you sent days ago. She hears your voice when she's trying to fall asleep. She remembers how you said her name. She won't admit it, not even to her closest friends, but the emotional imprint is already there. This is when her behavior shifts. She might go quiet, not because she lost interest, but because she feels too much. Women often withdraw when emotions start feeling real, fast, and risky. She might check your profile without interacting, watch your stories at odd hours, disappear, then reappear. She might send a small message that actually took courage. She might ask about something you mentioned once, proving she wasn't just listening, she was absorbing everything. One of the biggest signs is inconsistency: warm, then cold, engaged, then distant, curious, then guarded. Most men mistake this for disinterest. In reality, it's internal conflict. She's thinking about you more than she's comfortable admitting. You'll notice she takes longer to reply, not because she doesn't care, but because she overthinks every word. She types, deletes, rewrites. She wants to seem calm and unaffected, but inside she's not. She remembers details you forgot, asks questions she doesn't need answers to, gets emotionally reactive in subtle ways, and at some point she tries to pull away, not because she lost interest, but because she realizes she's already losing control. Here's the psychological truth. When a woman can't stop thinking about a man, she creates distance to regulate herself. She wants to see if she can go without you, but the more she tries to disconnect, the tighter her mind clings to you. That's why she always circles back. That's why she watches. That's why she checks. That's why she reaches out randomly. Another powerful sign is emotional sensitivity. Your words hit her harder than anyone else's. Your silence affects her mood. Your tone matters more than you realize. You occupy emotional real estate in her mind. Then comes mirroring. She picks up your phrases, your humor, your interests, not manipulation, emotional resonance. And one of the strongest signs of all, she becomes protective of your attention. She won't admit it, but when another woman enters the picture, her energy shifts. Jealousy shows up quietly, but it shows up. Because she's not attached to your presence, she's attached to the emotional experience you created in her. And that experience keeps replaying. Days after silence, weeks after distance, even when she tries to move on. When a woman is emotionally invested, her words may lie, but her patterns never do. She compares other men to you, gets triggered by reminders of you, tries to suppress her feelings, and only makes them stronger. Suppressed emotion always amplifies. That's why she checks without interacting, disappears, then reappears, acts cold when she actually cares. A woman who truly doesn't care feels nothing. Emotion, any emotion, means thought, and strong emotion means you're living rent-free in her mind. The deepest sign is vulnerability. If she ever opened up to you, even once, she hasn't forgotten it. Emotional trust doesn't disappear easily. And finally, emotional gravity. No matter how much distance, no matter how much silence, her energy keeps pulling back to you. She looks for your name, replays old conversations, wonders if you think about her too. She can stop herself from texting, but she can't stop herself from thinking. If you're noticing these signs, understand this. Her heart already decided. Her mind is trying to catch up. So let me ask you something real. Which part of this hit you the hardest? And do you think she's been thinking about you too? If this gave you clarity, subscribe for more and drop your answer in the comments. There's another layer most men never see. Because when a woman thinks about you nonstop, it doesn't just affect her emotions. It rewires her behavior in ways she can't control. She starts living in anticipation, not of messages, not of calls, but of possibility. She imagines what would happen if you reached out, if you showed up, if things went differently. And that imagined future starts feeling more real than whatever she's currently living. That's dangerous territory for her. So she pulls back again, not because she doesn't want you, but because she wants you too much. This is where most men make their biggest mistake. They chase the silence, they demand clarity, they push for reassurance. And without realizing it, they break the emotional tension that was keeping her attached. Because here's the truth. A woman doesn't fall deeper when you chase her thoughts. She falls deeper when you give her space to sit inside them. If you're still here, make sure you're subscribed, because what I'm about to explain is what separates men she forgets from men she never fully lets go of. When a woman is thinking about you constantly, her mind starts associating you with emotional regulation. When she's stressed, she thinks of you. When she's calm, she wonders about you. When something good happens, she wants to share it with you. You become her emotional reference point, and that's why she may test you. She might delay replies, act distant, pull her energy back slightly, not to punish you, but to see if you disappear, to see if you stay grounded without needing reassurance. Because a woman who's emotionally invested is secretly asking one question: is he stable, or is he going to collapse the moment I pull away? If you stay calm, unreactive, centered, her attachment deepens. If you panic, over-explain, or chase, her attraction turns into anxiety. Another sign she's thinking about you nonstop is emotional forecasting. She doesn't just think about who you are now, she imagines who you'd be in moments that haven't happened yet, how you'd react in conflict, how you'd handle pressure, how you'd treat her when things aren't perfect. That's not casual thinking, that's subconscious commitment. She may deny it, she may fight it, but her mind is already placing you into future scenarios. And here's something most men miss. When a woman goes quiet, she's not empty. She's full, full of thoughts, full of emotion, full of internal dialogue. Silence is not absence. Silence is processing. And the more intense the feeling, the quieter she often becomes. That's why real emotional attachment doesn't look loud. It looks controlled, measured, restrained. She watches instead of reacts. She feels instead of speaks. She wants to know if you can sense her without her having to explain. Another powerful indicator, she protects the connection even when she pretends not to care. She avoids talking badly about you, defends you subtly, downplays how much you matter, especially to herself, because admitting it would mean accepting vulnerability, and vulnerability is risk. So she keeps you at a distance while keeping you close in her mind. If she asks indirect questions, brings you up in unrelated conversations, or reacts emotionally to things that shouldn't logically matter, that's not coincidence. That's emotional overflow. She's thinking about you more than she wants to admit. And here's the final truth most men never hear. If a woman is thinking about you nonstop, she doesn't need more from you. She needs less interference. Your calm, your consistency, your emotional restraint. That's what keeps her attached, because the man who stays centered while she's internally spiraling is the man she can't replace. So let me ask you again, have you noticed the silence? And more importantly, how are you responding to it? If this resonates, like, subscribe, and stay here, because the next part explains exactly what to do when she's already thinking about you but hasn't reached out yet.